Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Uh, our goal for today is to continue doing some of this pack of puzzles by Faluda. Typically, we start with the most voted on puzzles. Or most voted on puzzle. And last time, the most voted on puzzle was this Faluda pack. And we did a few puzzles from the Faluda pack. I think we did 3 total, including a 4x4 that took us about an hour. So we're going to continue doing that today. Uh, I think, suggested that today might be a setting stream, but I think I'm going to have to wait until Friday to do that. So I don't think I'm going to have the time today. Also, I know that we're overlapping with the Sudoku train, so if you're hanging out there or hanging out in both, by all means, you're more than welcome to do so. Do not feel bad. I know there's a lot of stuff going on. Sorry, I had a Discord ping. I had to figure out what it was. Okay, so Tris has already said the rules to this puzzle are difficult to understand, but let us try. Maybe I should reread the names, by the way, of the supporters who voted for this. Oh, and I said it that way, it almost sounded incriminating, which wasn't how I intended it. But, so... No? Oh, sorry, it should be from Zetabot. There we go. The puzzle pack, by the way, that we're continuing was voted for by David, Russ, David, Nell, Luda, Doomdiat, and Nordy. Last stream, by the way, ended up being more exciting than the average. I mean, ended up being more different than the average. And so just to, if you missed it, last stream we did this Sudoku topology demo, which is over on stream. And so over on Steam, I think I said stream, which is like a 3D Sudoku thing that ended up being, I thought, quite challenging. The creator said that they thought perhaps I overcomplicated things, and that if I knew less, it would be much easier than I made it. But I thought it was very fun in any event. So I do recommend either watching it or just going and downloading the demo. Again, to be clear, not sponsored in any way, but I thought it was fun and entertaining as a distraction. Okay, so Tristan says if I read the rules on LMD, it will be easier. Okay, so there is, by the way, lore for this puzzle, which I am completely ignoring. Each row, column, and blue line contains the digits 1 to 6 once each. The outside clues in the dotted area are standard skyscraper clues, but the clues further from the grid take into account the digits between its cell and the grid, as well as the digits in the grid. Okay. Of the same size or lower. Okay. Okay. So, David says, I was just now watching that stream, and I like the part where you used a virtual 2-5 pair to prove that a cell that's on a white dot with a 2-5 isn't 2 or 5. It sounds about right. So basically, I can put whatever digits I want in the cells out here, aside from the fact about the blue line, is my interpretation of this. I know that this is a Latin square, but it sounds like I'm completely free to put whatever digits I want in here. Yes, the 3D-ness definitely took a while. I did sort of feel like I was getting my head around it a little bit by the time that we've done. But like this number, oh, right. They're all skyscraper clues. I see. So whatever this is, that's also okay. Got it. Okay. Okay, and this is a set of the numbers. So like these numbers are either the same or off by 1, right? Maybe that's not how that works, actually. No, I guess that's not even true. That's not true. It depends on. It's quite. It's quite a bit more complicated than that to think about what exactly happens with my sort of skyscraper. Because I was thinking, like, what happens if this is a 6? Then we end up with this, but then this is a 1 again. So more messy than that. Yeah, it's at most 1 more is the true thing. Okay, so, but there's no sort of Sudoku going on outside the grid. It is absurd that this is unique, by the way, like completely absurd. Okay, so I mean, I feel like the most restricted skyscrapers are 6 and 1, but I don't even know that there's anything on here that would immediately sort of like, if this is a 1, that's a 6, for example. The cell above row 1, column 5 seems useful. Okay. Can we tell me why it's useful? Because I don't immediately see it. I think the blue line contains the digits 1 through 6 once each. I think that's the only rule about the blue line. Yeah, row 0, column 5. Yeah, yeah, so Selena's saying one of these is a 1 for sure, because there definitely is a 6 here. Which I agree. And wherever the 6 is in row 2 forces there to be a 2. But there doesn't necessarily have to be sort of every number above that. But there is a 1 and a 2 in this row, and there's a 1 and a 2 in this row. And wherever the 6 is here, okay, so wherever there's a 6, it definitely has to go. So that's a good point. Wherever the 6 is, that's a 1. Now this is a 2 because I'm going to see the 1 and the 6. And now this goes 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Up above it. Because this 2 sees that 2 and that 6. This 2 sees that 2 and that 6, and so on down the line. So that's a good point. So if that 6 is anywhere over here, then we get a 2 in one of these spots, and otherwise there's a 6 in one of these spots. Let's see. Josh says the 5 similarly forces right, because the 5, wherever the 5 goes in this column, it's certainly going to be a 2 above it, and then it's going to be a 3 here, and then it's going to be 3 on up the rest of the way, right? So I guess we do have to be careful that okay. So yeah, so the 5 is going to do this. And then what is the 6 in row 2 going to do? So it's going to do something, which is going to put a 2 here. And I guess then it depends on what digit was above the 6, what happens next, right? And we've got this sort of annoying piece that's sort of like any of this could be happening over here. And keep in mind the 5 and the 6 could be in the same place. But yeah, this could be a 2 or a 3. And then we're going to sort of go up with 2s or 3s. But we can't have 2 3s on this line. Okay, maybe the thing I'm learning is that the hardest number to put on this line is a 6. Okay, so certainly I can put a 6 there for free. There's no way I could ever put a 6 here, right? Like, this being a 6 assuredly doesn't work. This could be a 6, right? That could be a 6 and that could be a 6. But, like, that can never be a 6. Yeah, so, what Selena says is correct, which is that if this digit's a 3, this digit's at most a 4, because it can see at most the 3 things that this saw and the 3. But then the cell behind that is now never able to get bigger than that, because let's say that this is at most a 4, but if it is a 4, then it's blocked the 3. Now, is there some universe where this is a 2? No, this couldn't be... Right, this cell can't be less than this, right? Because if it's less than this, it would see, in fact, oh, no, sorry, that's not true. Sorry, that's not true. This can be less, so maybe this would be okay. And then this would end up being like a 5 or something? Is that possible? In some universe? Okay. Or is it just not possible? This is a 2. How would this end up being a 2? So if... Thank you. Yeah, this can't actually be a 2, right? Oh, no, it can. There we go. Right. Okay, so Jim suggests it. And so now the cell above this is now, again, a 3. Yeah, if it ever stays the same, it certainly repeats forever. Okay, so it can never increase by more than 1. If it ever stays the same, it repeats forever. And so those two together, Selena is right, give me that once I put a 3 here, I can never get above 4 in this column. Yes, okay, I agree with that. So whatever this number is, I can go up by 1, but then having gone up by 1, I now can't go up by 1 again. So I either repeat or go down, but now I'm back where I was. And if I repeat, then I stay the same. Okay, so I think that combination works. Okay, so I think that's sort of the more general version of this. But of course, the numbers can be smaller. But we're going to end up with sort of a bunch of repeats almost no matter what. So, like, I guess the question is, can this sort of like really keep sort of bouncing back and forth? I don't think so. But maybe it can. Like if this is a 6, then this is a 1. Now this is a 2. But now we're sort of stuck at 2 forever, as we sort of noted before, right? Yeah, that sort of the thing is like, yeah, how far up can we really place a 6? It sort of feels like I think we're close to saying the right thing. So we certainly can't place a 6 in any of these cells unless the cell in the bottom row is at least a 5. So the question is, could we really do that? And the answer is, of course not. We can't do that because this 6 definitely doesn't see 5. So we have now proven that the 6 assuredly actually, because the 5 actually doesn't let me get to 6 and nothing else lets me get to 6. Then the 6 is over in one of these two cells. So one of these two is a 6. And so now what about the 5? So the question is, could I put a 5 here? And I don't think I can put a 5 up here either because of what happens. This would have to be a 4 or a 5. But if this is a 4 or a 5, then this number can't be as big as 5. So in fact, actually, these two have to be a 5-6 pair, is our conclusion. And if this is a 5 or a 6, then we know that one of these two down here is a 6. These are all from 1, 2, 3, 4 now. Yeah, so 4 is also going to be tricky. So whatever column 4 goes in, we know that the digit below it is at least a 3. So but it has to be a 3 because 4, 4 is not a valid option. Because if the first digit is a 4, it's already not good enough. So in order to get a 4, I think we have to go 4, 3, but we could do as suggested by Selena, we could get a 4 further up, perhaps. So where is the 1 on this line is interesting, because the 1 has to have a 6 immediately below it. And so the question is, where can I put a 6 immediately below something? And I think we've argued you can't actually put a 6 anywhere in row 2, because that was part of our proof that we had to put the 6 down here. And if you can't put any 6, yeah, so I think we did prove that. So I think that means the only place the 1 can go on this line is here, right? Oops. 1 and 6, right? And so, therefore, wait, is it possible? No, it's not possible. I was asking if it's possible I put the 6 over here somewhere, but it's not, I don't think. So we get to do our 1 dance. Ba-doop-ba-doop. Woo! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Wah! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Wee! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. So that actually gets us tons of digits because the 6 skyscraper is forced, and that places this 6 by sudoku. And if that's a 6, this can't be a 6. So that's a 5, and that's a 6. Okay, and so, and now this is a 2 because it can't be a 1, but it has to be at most 2. And so this now has to go 3, 4, 5, 1 in order to make that 5 work. And so now we can fill this digit just by looking at it. This digit is now a 2. Okay. So that was all very exciting. I guess I can fill in this digit, but it doesn't really matter, right? This digit is a 2 as well. This digit is a 1, and this digit, 1 second. Successful mic muting again. This digit's a 2. Okay, so these are a 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is a 2. We can fill that in. So then this is still a 2. This is a 2, and now that's a 3. And now that's a 3, right? This is a 1, and now that's a 2, and now that's 2, 2, 2, like that. Ah, yes, the 5 on the bottom line. Do I know for sure this isn't a 5? I think so. Because if this digit was a 5, this digit would have to be a 4 or a 5, but neither of those actually work. Because as soon as the first digit is a 4 or a 5, you know the skyscraper clue is too small. And so 5 can't go here, but by sudoku, it can't go either of those places. So in fact, that's the 5. So we now know where the... Oh, sorry. I was going to say we now know where the 4 is, but that's not quite true. These are, though, 1, 3, 4. And that one's not a 4. So that one's the 1 or the 3. One of these two is the 4. This could be a 4 with that being a 3. I think that would work out okay. Let's see. Maybe I should actually try and note where the 6s can actually go. So one of these two cells is a 6, one of these two cells is a 6, and one of these 3 cells is a 6. These are my 6 possibilities. So in particular, that means that this clue is at most a 3. But it's not a 1 either. So this is only a 2 or a 3. For what it's worth. Can this really be a 1? No. Because if this was a 1, that would have to be a 6, is Josh's point. And then this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that breaks because this digit can't be 1. So one of these really is 1. So this number is from 2, 3, 4. Because of the fact that I need to get as high as that. Let's see. I can't remember who assured me that this pack would be a pretty easy Faluda, although despite that, I would like to point out that someone assured me it would be pretty easy, and it has been solved one time, despite having been on LMD since April. So I'm not sure exactly how easy this easy Faluda is, but it's fun regardless of whether it is easy. So that digit's not a 1 and that digit's not a 1 for what it's worth. Let's see. I think Emma's telling me this can't be a 2. If this was a 2, that would have to be a 5. What's wrong with this being 2, 5, 6? This can only be 2 or 3. Let's see. Should probably fill in that these are 3, 4, 5. It's probably worth doing. And that one's not a 5. So this is only 3 or 4. This number could be as large as 4, I suppose. Yeah, I did actually ask for recommendations because I realized I'd never done a Faluda puzzle, and I figured if I've done 200 Sudoku streams, maybe I can handle a Faluda puzzle, even though Faluda is, by reputation, the scariest of setters. Let's see. Yeah, remember, we know what happens in the one that starts with 5. Because the one that starts with 5 has a 2 above it, and then a 3 above that, and then 3 all the way up. So one of these two is a 2 with 3s all the way above it. And so that can't ever be a 3. I got, oops, That can't ever be a 3 because I know one of these two has the 5. Uh, 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 so 5, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Yeah. And we're going to end up with that same pattern there, funnily enough. So yeah, one of these is going to be a 3. If this is a 5, that's a 2. If this is a 5, that's a 2. Let's see. Yeah, so if this is a 4, then this is going to go 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, right? I think if you look at the checkerboarding, I think this being 4 doesn't actually work. So I think if this is a 4, that's a 3, and now that's a 4, so then that's a 3, so then that's a 4, so then that's a 3, and we just said that's not 3. So this can't be 4, I believe. This is a 3. Oh, it could be 2, right. Sorry, it could go 2, right. Sorry. So if this is a 4, sorry, if this is a 4, it could be that's the 6, in which case it would go 2, 3. Wait, this is a 4, 6. Then this would be 2. That would be 3. But wouldn't this be 3 again? I think this would put a 3 here, right? Am I miscounting? I think this would be 3s straight up. So I don't think that can be a 2 either. So I think this really is not a 4. I think it breaks both ways. So that's a 3. Okay. So yeah, that makes this 2 or 3. Okay, and so this can't actually be 4 anymore, right? Because in order for this to be 4, we would need this to be a 3. But if this is a 3, then again, this is going to go 3, 4, 3. So that can't actually be the 4 either, I don't think. I think this can only be 2 or 3. So now one of these two is the one that's the 4. And this one is at most 4. So this is 2, 3, or 4. If row 0, column 1 is 4, then it's 3s all the way up. No, because above the 3 would be another 4, right? Because if this is a 4, the digit above it is a 3, right? If this is a 2, Emma is saying that doesn't work because it's definitely going to see, if it's a 2, it's definitely going to see a 3 and a 6. And so the only way that would work is if all of these were 2 or 3. Oh, no, Emma's saying this one doesn't work? Okay. Emma's saying this can't be a 2. If this is a 2, it will make that 3, 6. That will then be a 3. Will then be a 2, 3, 2, right? So this would end up being a 2 in that universe. I think that's okay. Unless I'm missing what it breaks. Let's see. Can I do anything else clever over here? In row 4, or above 4 in row 1. So if this is a 4, Ilm is asking if that can really be a 2. So if this is a 4, then that's a 3. That's a 4. The 3, and then that's a 4. So if this is a 4, I think it means that's also a 4. Can the 4... Oh, in row 1, sorry. The 4, okay, there we go. So can the... So we could go 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. I think that works. I think 4, 3, 4, 3, 4 works here. So I think that does work. But it's not 2. Oh, sorry, it was the 2. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, so you're asking if above the 4 there can be a 2. Sorry, I misunderstood. Yeah, so yeah, so if this number is a 4, we could have this number could be a 2. But then it's going to go 3, 3, 3 back, right? Yeah, I think that's true. does row 1, column 3 being a 4 force a 3 onto the line? Let's see. If this is a 4, I don't understand how that implied anything about 2 being in column 1. Do we know the 5 here doesn't lead to a 2? Oh, right. We do know that there's a 3 above the 5. Right. Okay. So, right. Because we remember we already sort of worked out that the 5 always puts a 3 on this line. That was something we said before. And so then the question is, can the 4 put a 2 on the line? And we said the 4 can't put a 2 on the line here. Is that what we said? So this could go... So yeah, so... Okay, how do I convince myself that these really can't be 2 with the 4s below them? So... If this was a 2... yeah, so, so in order for this to be a 2, that would also have to be a 2, right? Right, okay, so yeah, so the point is, this cell always sees, at the very least, this number, and 6. So I think that's the point. Right, because none of the numbers in here, unless there's a 4 in here, and I think I know this number can't be 4. Well, this number can only be 4 if that number is 3, in which case this number surely isn't 4. No, sorry. It'd be 4, 3. Sorry, that number isn't 2. Right, so this number I'm convinced can't be a 2, I think. So I think that number is definitely a 3. And so now I have to argue that this can't be a 2. It's not a 3 anymore, at least. So if this were a 2, I would need one of these two to be a 4, which would mean I would need that one to be a 4, specifically. And that doesn't work, because as soon as that's a 4, this number is less than 4. So, yeah, so if this wants to be a 2, I need a 4 to block it. But the 4 to block it would have to go here. But then this number is less than 4 and it sees it, so this can't be a 2. Okay, so that's not too messy in the grand scheme of things, I suppose. Okay, so that means this is for sure 3. And also remember the 3 definitely went above the 5. So we know we can fill in those. So that's a 4. This is a 3, so the 6 doesn't go there, or it would not be a 3. So the 6, in fact, goes... I didn't cheat and use Sudoku there, did I? I think I cheated and used Sudoku. No, I did not cheat and use Sudoku. I used the fact that that this needs to be a 4, and it's at most 1 more than that. Okay, so this does need to be the 6 down here. So that needs to be a 5 in order to make this a 3. So we can uncolor these. Okay, and so that number is now a 4, and so that number is a 3, and then that number is a 4. Continuing on up. And so now if the 6 is down here, yeah, the 6 can't be here. Okay, so I'm starting to understand the logic of the 2 now. Because if the 6 is here, this 2 always is going to see the 5 and the 6, unless there's a 5 or a 6 up here blocking it. But that's definitely not possible. And so that means that can't be a 6. So the 6 has to block the 5, because there's always going to be, as soon as there's a 4, 5, or 6, the number behind it is less than 4. And so so that means you get to your 2 way too fast. So the 6s actually go there, is the upshot of all of that. And that makes that a 2. Which makes that a 3, and then makes that a 2, and then makes that a 3, and then that a 2 again. Whew! Okay. And now we just finish off the rest of the puzzle. So this row is missing 1 and 4. This row is missing 1 and 2. Let's see. We've got 5 5s in the grid, so that's definitely a 5. Let's see. We've only got 2 1s in the grid. We have 3 3s in the grid, though. So one of these two is definitely a 3. It is true, one of these two has to be a 1, because the rows need 1s. So these actually aren't 1, and they aren't 5 or 6 either. So these are from 2, 3, 4. And that one's not a 4, just explicitly. So that's a 1, 2, or 3. And this one is a 1 or a 2. This one's not a 1 because, again, one of these two is a 1. So that's a 3 or a 4, which means that is a 1 because this line needs a 1. So that's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 3. So that is not a 3. I certainly... Oh, this is a 2 now. This is a 2, just by virtue of that. And so now this just is a 3, if you just count it. So that's a 4, which makes that a 2, which makes that a 1 and a 2, and a 4 and a 1, and a 3. Let's see. We've got 2 and 4 left. They go in that order. We've got a 1 and a 3 left. And there we go. We now have completed this puzzle, although I suppose I should probably fill in the rest of this just for funsies. 3, 4, 6 seems to make that a 3. Which seems to make that, seems to make that a 4. No, that's also a 3. 2, 3, 6. That makes that a 3. Makes that a 3. 4, 5, 6. That makes that a 3. Makes that a 4. Woohoo! Very nice. I'm going to take a real quick break after that, but I'll be right back with more puzzlage. So see you all in just a moment. All right, welcome back. Next up, we have two orderings. It's also probably worth noting that although like we've done a jajillion of these puzzles in this pack, there's like still a jajillion more puzzles in this pack. So it's also possible just no one has done literally every puzzle in it except for I think Nordy is the one solved if I recall correctly. Let's double check. Is it Nordy? I think it's Nordy. We did Kropke loops last time. No, it was Doomed, yeah, not Nordy. Okay. Last time I skipped the skyscrapers one because it didn't quite fit on the screen nicely, and so Tristan set it up. Okay, so we need 1 through 5 in every row and column. Each letter corresponds to a number from 1 to 5. We have skyscrapers outside the clues. However, the heights of the skyscrapers can be ordered either numerically or alphabetically. The choice must be deduced. Okay, I have a new most disgusting line of rules text I have ever seen in a puzzle. Congratulations to the previous holder of that record who has done that. And the same is true of thermos. Good Lord. Okay, so that's true. Jaleb says C equals 2, but unfortunately I don't think that's true. So yeah, so we have to okay. Good. Okay, so note there's a CC and a DD. So we at the very least know that it's not the case that both the DD and the CC are the same. Uh, 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 so okay, if 5 see. So if 5 is here, then one of these would have to be alphabetical, right? So but it would be a question of where is 5 in the alphabet. So we need to sort of think about 5s and E's. Maybe that's the point, is that 5 can't be E. Because if 5 was E, everything just said would be true, right? If 5 is E, then this is broken because both D and B would certainly be 1. So 5 is one of these. I think that is a true deduction. We've done it. Okay, can I reproduce that anywhere else? Oh, right. Sorry, you're right. Sorry, that's only if this digit actually is 5. Yes, you're right. Let's see. I mean, these columns are very interesting. but I'm a little concerned that it could be like one of these columns goes A, B, C, D, E. Or something like that. Yeah, sadly, thermos also can be either numerical or alphabetical. Yes, so if E is 5, then in this column, whether we went alphabetically or whatever, this would end up being 5. And that breaks because, again, this would be 5 and E, and this can't be both 5 and E. But because of this clue, this would end up being 5 and E. So E is indeed not 5. This is a beautifully, horribly deranged idea for a puzzle. Let's see. Let's see. Emma says C and D cannot be 4 or more. Why? Can C be 5 in column 1? Why, Emma? Because remember, these can be different types. That C and that C don't have to be the same type. Oh, it's because C and D are in the column. So yeah, so if, for example, C is 5, then we're saying that these numbers in this column go in strict alphabetical order or numeric order. But if they went in alphabetical order, then that would put the 5 there in the middle because C is the third letter of the alphabet. But then in the other C would then have to be the other of alpha and numeric, and that doesn't work. That combination is broken. And exactly the same thing happens here. And so these also can't be 5. So one of A and B is 5. If A is 5, I think that's going to do something very weird with this clue. If A is 5, it's either going to go in numeric order, in which case... Yep, it doesn't work. If A is 5, this is either going to go in alphabetical or numerical order. If it goes in alphabetical order, it puts A and 5 in the middle of a thermo, and A and 5 definitely can't go in the middle of a thermo. And if it's the other way around, it puts A and 5 in the middle of a thermo. So this row is very deliberately set up to say A is not 5. That's basically what this row is completely structured to say. So in fact, B is 5. Okay. So B is 5, which is exciting. I guess we can do a dance for that. Boop boop doop. Whoa. Boop boop doop. Whoa. Boop boop doop. Wee. Ba-doop boo-doo ba-doop boo-doo 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 boo. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Okay, so this digit is either 2 or... So these two digits are a 2-5 pair, is what we're saying. Because if this is in numerical order, it's a 2. And if it's in alphabetical order, it's a 5. So these are a 2-5 pair. And so these are, of course, 1, 3, 4. Yes, this is absolutely a completely deranged rule set. So this digit can never... Sorry, no, it's... This digit can never... Oh, no, never mind, sorry. This digit... Oh, this digit could be 5 if that's an A. Yes, okay, so, right. So, now the point is, one of these rows is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one of them is A, B, C, D, E. And so, in particular, that means that 1 can't be A, C can't be 3, and D can't be 4. And also, by looking at the fact that one of these is going to go B, C. I was going to say that tells us that B is bigger than C because alphabetically it's backwards. But of course B is bigger than C because B is 5. Okay, so these two are a 3C pair, for what it is worth. Does that tell me anything interesting about E? Not quite, I think, unfortunately. E is not 2 by the numeric B row. So one of these does go BC, and that one is numerically correct. And one of them goes 2, 3. And so the one that goes 2, 3 tells me that 3 is later in the alphabet than 2. Which is the most insane sentence I've ever said. So 3 is later in the alphabet than 2 means that 3 isn't A, and means that 2 isn't E. Yeah, let's try actually. Let's see if I turn on letter tool, if it will let me mark 1A. There we go. Oh, I did it backwards? Okay, well, I'm going to fill in the stuff first. And then we'll do it 1A, 2B, 3C, 4D, 5E. Right. 3 is the bulb, and the bulb goes before. So 3 is earlier in the alphabet than 2, is what this is saying. And so if 3 is earlier in the alphabet than 2, this isn't 2, and that's not 3. Let's see. Yes. Oh, and so wait, C is just 1, right? Oh no. C doesn't have to be 1. But C probably is 1 because of this, right? It is true that E can't be 1, because the only way that this could be a 1 skyscraper clue is if this is the first numerically or the first alphabetically. Is the last numerically or the last alphabetically. But we know it's not, well, if it was E, then it wouldn't be E. Oops. And it's not 5. So E isn't 1. I agree with that. So one of C and D is 1. And of course, C being 1 would work very nicely. But yeah, I think column 1 actually tells us that D can't be 1, right? For the same reason. Because if D was 1, I would need 1 to be E. In fact, I think D could never have been 1, because there's no way. Well, 1 would have to be, in order for D to be 1, A would have to be 5, and D would have, and anyway, but now it definitely doesn't work. So D can't be 1 either. And so C is 1, which unfortunately is horrible, because it tells us nothing in this column, but at least I can replace these C's with 1s. And then I can fill in these numbers are 2, 4, 5. 5 and E, right? So and B is 5, so we've got that over there. D is 2 or 3. Yes, that is very true. Yeah, the thermos look like they're going to go the normal way, except we know they're not. Uh, 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 so there's actually only 2 universes because of this. If A is 4, Wait, does A is 4 break because of the thermos? If A is 4... Yes, A is 4 breaks, because remember, 2 is earlier in the alphabet. No, 3 is earlier in the alphabet than 2, darn it. Sorry, no, we've got it's all fine. It's either 3 and 2 or 3 and 2. One of those is sad. And A is 3 or 4. I feel like the fact that A is 3 or 4 should tell me something here, but my Zeta brain cannot quite wrap itself around exactly what it is that it says. Okay, this is... E is 2 or 4. Can I do anything with that in this column? So if E is 4, then does that mean this has to be E? I'm not sure. There we go. Okay, 1 definitely doesn't go here. So 1 is in one of these 2 cells. A Oh, Lord. Yep, that's exactly the point. This cell sees a 1, 3, 4 triple. That's amazing. Because this 1, 3, 4 triple is all seen by this. And no matter how the thermo works, this still sees the 1, 3, 4 triple. So this is only 2 or 5. If it's 5, then this is an alphabetical order. And then all bets are off. If it's 2, then it could kind of go either way, I suppose. A is 3 or 4. Okay, so if this is a 5, it's a B. I'm just looking at this A skyscraper clue again. That was art, by the way, making this not able to be 1, 3, or 4. That was very cool. Yes, the thermo and the skyscrapers can go alphabetically or numerically. Absolutely and completely bonkers. If 1 is here, it forces this to be 5 and this to be A. If 1 is here, then it forces but yeah, the unless 1 is exactly here, this thermo is alphabetical. Maybe that's the thing to say, because the 1 in this row now can only go there or partway along a thermo. D is 2 or 3. Actually, yeah, D is 2 is really clogged in column 1. The 1 can't be the tip of the thermo. Why can't this be A, B, C? Oh, the 1 can't be here is what you're saying? Uh, right. Okay, yeah, so that can't be a 1 because there's already a 5 in the column, right? And 1 is B. Or sorry, 5 is B, right? So that can't be 1. So actually the 1 in this row actually only goes in one of those 2 cells. One of those is a 1. Uh, 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 yeah, it is true that this number is either 2 or B. Uh, and so if it's B, then that's A, or numerically. Uh, there's no exclusive on these, right? I don't need to make sure that something isn't somehow both for the orderings. I don't think. One of these is a 2. It is true that one of these is also a 1, although that seems to matter very little. I feel like it's probably about thinking really hard about whether D is 2 or 3 from this column. Uh, so notably, if D is 3, then one of these 2 is D. Uh, and so if D is 3, does that force both of these to read numerically? No, because if D is 3, one of these two is 4. So that one would have to read alphabetically. So if D is 3, one of them reads A. Wait, did I say that backwards, Patrick? I might have just said it backwards. If A is 4, D is 3, I think. Unless you see a way that something else is forced. Let's see. Yes, because it can read alphabetically as well as the pervasive issue. This being 1 is, of course, very specific. 1BA. I'm trying to decide if there's any interaction at all between these two D clues and this thermo. Which I'm maybe not wholly convinced that there is. It is worth noting, if this is 3 or 4, then this is definitely numeric, and then this does go to 1. And if this is 1, then this is definitely alphabetical and goes BA. So if this is 3 or 4, that's definitely 1. Oh, so this cell's never 1. Oh, because in my head I said if it's 3, 4, it's A. That's why, Emma. But that's not actually how that works. It could be the other 3, 4. I was about to say this could therefore never be 1. It is true that if this is 1, these are a 3, 4 pair. Can I have a 3, 4 pair at the ends of the thermos? So if I have a 3, 4 pair at the end of the thermos, it's definitely alphabetical, which means that that would have to be A. But then I think there's a lot of flexibility on this. But these being a 3-4 pair is kind of interesting in its own unique way. Because see, so I was just saying if these are a 3-4 pair. So in other words, if this is 1, these are a 3-4 pair. And that is interesting because it forces the type of the thermo. But I don't know this is 1. I was just trying to see that breaks. But yeah, CDE is certainly a valid fill for this as far as I'm aware. But I know C is 1, so if that's 1, then this is not that. Maybe it's about where B goes in this row, because this cell I'm noticing can't be B. So this cell, yeah, what can this cell be? If I think about it numerically, oh, let's see. Is there some smart way to like candidate mark these cells? I do know that E is one of these 3 cells for whatever that is worth. Uh, 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 2, 5. Yeah. I feel like I'm not examining or I'm not thinking very hard about this A clue here because it hurts my head. Also because this first digit along the line is pretty useless. So if A is 4, there's only one thing that's not seen, and it's definitely that one, right? Oh no, it could be if that's a 5, so it could go CB. That would be okay. Yeah, if A is 4, only one thing goes unseen in this row. If E is 4, D is 2. Both clues in column 1 would be alphabetical. Why would both have to be alphabetical? That part I don't see. Because if A is 4, I could just slap a 5 in one of these two cells and make the A5 one numeric. Or in fact, actually, if A is 4 and D is 2, then actually one of them automatically works numerically, right? Because if A is 4, D is 2, and whichever of these is 4, it definitely works. Oh, wait, sorry. No. Sorry. I said that backwards. You said it right. If A is 4, it's E that's 2. So D is 3. So the one that... sorry, yeah. I was saying that backwards. If A is 4, then the one that starts with a 4 certainly has to go alphabetically. And the one that starts with a 1... I think I'm not quite sure. That's a good point. This thermo definitely can't be ABC. So if this thermo is alphabetical, this is definitely an E. So I know that this is a 3, 5, or an E. For what it is worth, it's never 2. Oh, sorry. It could be 2 if 2 is E. Sorry. But yeah, if this is alphabetical, then definitely that has to be an E, is a worthwhile thing to note. Okay, let's see. So, Garion says if this is an E, then right, then we would know that this cell can't be E. Because we know that then in that universe the E's are sort of spoken for in these cells I have highlighted. Right, E would be 2. Right, because yeah, so if this is an E, then E is 2 because of that. So yeah, if this is an E, E is 2. And so that's a 5 and that's a 4. Yeah, it would complete the 2, 4, 5 triple. So these would be a 1, 3 pair. I don't quite see what's wrong in this universe with this with either of these being the 1 still. The A in row 3. Okay, so if this ends in E, E is 2. And so A, let's just go ahead and fill this in. If this is alphabetical, then that's an E, and E is instantly 2. And so we get all of that over there. So this becomes 5 and 4. And now A is 4, which means that this row is alphabetical because it starts with a 5. And so, therefore, let's see. Okay, so that's the E. So this is the last. So this is the unseen thing. So this needs to go completely in alphabetical order. Wait. So the unseen thing has to be A. No. No, A is 4. Can't I not see either of these? Doesn't this just break? Because I can't see the 4 because it's an A, and I can't see this cell because it's behind an E. I think this just breaks, right? Did I do that wrong? But I don't think that works. I had to think quite a bit about it to see it, but I think but yeah, so this can't be E is the short version of that. And so this is numeric, which means that's not a 1. So that is a 1. And I'll go ahead and mark this off. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, just for sake of that. And if that's a 1, these are 3, 4, which means this is alphabetical. So that had better be the A. And then the other 3, 4 is D or E. And so, so this could be B, or it could go D, E, as the case may be. Oh, this can't be a 4. Sort of silly things. If that's a 4, it makes that a 5, and that makes a 2, 4, 5 quintuple. Basically, one of these two has to be a 3, so that can't be a 4. And if that can't be a 4, this can't be a 3. Let's see. Okay, so now this can't. Oh, maybe. So let's see. So now this A skyscraper is kind of fascinating. I know this is an A for sure. But this annoyingly could be a B, in which case this could be anything. Let's see. Oh, this is never a 4 because there's a 4D pair in the column. So if D is 3, this is 5 for whatever it's worth. Oh, yeah, that just places 4 in the row. Very good. Yeah, that places this as a 4. Okay, so that's good, I presume. I mean, it's a digit, and digits are a plus towards solving the puzzle eventually. So one of these is a 2. Let's see. This 4 is either an A or an E for what it's worth. Let's see. So one of... Oh, where's A in column 5? That's the question. Because A is not 5, A is not E. So A is... And this cell is A. So one of these is A. And therefore A is 3. Right? That is true, I think. I think we believe that. I think that is the observation that is slick. So A is 3. So D is 2 and E is 4. That cell seems to be a 4. Okay, if that cell is a 4 is E, so this can be literally anything. Great. But that's a 5, I suppose, by sudoku. So that's a 2. Okay, and E was 4, so we can go ahead and get rid of the E and put a 4, and D was 2, so we can get rid of the D and put a 2, and A was 3, so we can get rid of the A and put a 3 for some amount of additional sanity. So this is also a 1 or a 2. Let's see, maybe it's about 3s. Yeah, that's not a 3, so this is the 3 for row 2. Just by sudoku, because neither of those can be a 3. So this is 1. Oh, sorry, this is a naked 5 now. Because it's not 1, 2, 3, or 4. So that's a 5, which makes that a 2 and a 1. That now makes... Oh, that's a 5, by the way. That now makes this a 4, that a 1, and that a 2. Okay, so hopefully this works alphabetically, because it doesn't work... Oh, no, it does work numerically. 2, 4, 5 is 3. Yep, sorry, A is 3. Okay, D is 2. And C is 1. Yeah, okay, so C is 1. We already knew. So D is 2. So one of these can be numerical. Let's see. Okay, this one can't be numerical. This one has to be alphabetical, reading up from the bottom, because if it's numerical, it's already too big, because D is 2. And so, therefore, if it's alphabetical... Oh, no, it's automatically right. Okay, so this is the one that's alphabetical. That's the one that's numerical, but it works both ways. So this E is our last piece. So this E needs to be a 4 in some metric. So if it starts with 1, it actually looks like it works fine. If it starts with 3... if it starts with 3, that doesn't work, because this can't be alphabetical, is the point. This column has to be numerical, because E is 4. So the alphabetical skyscraper for this column is at most 3. So this is numerical, and therefore this can't be a 3. This has to be a 1. Okay, and so now now we have this thermo. So 1 is C. I have to remind myself that what exactly happens. 3 is A, so this can be anything. Oh, sorry, that fills in. Sorry, I don't need to use the thermos. Or maybe I do. Right. The B's, right. One of them is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, that was the thing. Because then one of them is A, B, C, D, E. So this is, yeah, I'd completely forgotten about that halfway through the puzzle. There we go. Woohoo! Very nice. Okay, that I will still say is like one of the most pathological puzzles I've ever done, but I enjoyed that aside from the fact that I'm sure we missed the point in this row. We did something like absolutely nuts in this row that I think was not what was intended, but there were so many like super clean steps. I'm sure there was a super clean step that was intended that we just did not find. All right. I am going to take just a moment to stretch, and we'll be back, and we'll do this Ubon slitherlink. Yes, definitely someone should go make a 9x9 version of that puzzle. That sounds completely painless for everyone involved. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everyone. It is more Celeste music, yes. It's from the Celeste mod Strawberry Jam, which I have quite enjoyed playing. And they open sourced the music, which was cool. So we have a Ubon slitherlink. So we need to draw some lines connecting centers of orthogonally adjacent cells such that the network they create is connected and has no dead ends. And then write the digit 0 to 3 in each cell with the network. The digits correspond to the shape of the cell as follows. 0 is L, 1 is I, 2 is T, 3 is X. Some digits are given. Those must also contain the corresponding Ubon piece. And then we also need to draw a closed non-intersecting loop along the edges. Digits indicate how many neighboring edges are used on the loop. Oh, Lord. Okay, so we actually have to draw a loop and a loop network here. So I guess 3 is X. Oh, yeah, I can fix that. That is one of my skills. I can arrow it over. Thank you. Yep. And it is relevant to see. Okay, and I'm going to mark that all of these are part of the Ubon network. So let's see. What is 0? 0 is L. So that means... So this needs to be that shape. But it could go that way. But because it's a 0 on an edge, we're always going to get an interior piece like that, no matter how this works out. Oh, all of these are in the Ubon network as well. Okay, and then slitherlink-wise, we know the loop doesn't visit any of those or any of these, so it doesn't go in there. It doesn't visit any of these. Let's see. Doesn't visit any of these or any of these. Doesn't visit any of those. Okay, so so we have our first deduction. The slitherlink loop definitely takes those cells, or definitely does that. Because of the reason that this little shape over here, I either need to take both of these or neither of these. That was sort of the only options that were available to us. So the slitherlink loop can't take either of these cells for a similar reason, which is that it would take both and then immediately break the slitherlink clue if it did. Likewise, same deal with a 0 there. Would bounce off this 1 and immediately break. Let's go ahead and fill in all of these. Can't get there because of that. I don't think 1, 1 has to contain a digit necessarily. Because the only cells that contain digits are the cells that are part of the Ubon network. Oh, yeah, because of this piece. Right. So if I look in here, just to show you what would happen, I can easily imagine this thing bouncing around here, but it would actually immediately close, is what Selena is pointing out, because of that sort of bottleneck in there. So that one now is undoable. That one's undoable. So we've got all of that. So whichever of these is in the network, it's a 0. Right. Sorry. Emma has a smart spot, which is that there's a dead end here blocking that off, which means this is part of the slither link, which means none of these are because that one clue's already satisfied. So this 1 continues up. It bounces off this 0 like that. This is forced because this 1 needs a side and it doesn't have a side yet. Okay. Got all of that going on. Row 4, column 1 has a very similar issue with where if I try and sort of sneak a loop in here, it's going to immediately close, as Josh says. So we can sort of cut off all of that, and so that also gets cut off. Okay, so none of that makes my slitherlink loop. And again, as Selena points out, same deal would force that. So we, again, can't have a little slitherlink loop. So we get all of that over there. Okay, so this could sort of bounce back around there, possibly. Oh, there's some zeros over here that are worth marking. And if that 0 is marked, it marks those two sides of the 1 as well. We should mark. And now this 2 is actually forced. If I look at that, and in fact has to go that way. This 1 is actually done, so this has to come this way because there's nowhere else. So that's out. So these 2 are out. All of these are out. These are out. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. So we end up with similar. Okay, so that's a dead end now because it crashes into there. That's a dead end now because it crashes into there. That's a dead end now because it crashes into there. Okay, so this sort of, I wish I could mark corners, but this is going to visit this corner and then leave. However it happens to work out. Oh, these 2 are unvisitable because it would break the 1 again, similar to previous stories. Oh, right. These are unvisitable, Jim is pointing out. I feel like this is almost certainly going to have to be visited on this side, based on what is happening. Yeah, I feel like I can articulate in my mind a proof of it, but it's a pretty horrible proof. And I think there's sort of 2 ways that this can resolve slitherlink-wise. Yeah, only exit. That's a good way to put it. That is not as case checky, right? This loop has to escape somehow, and because this side's X'd off, it's got to escape down that side. So we have that, but I think this could either bounce around like that or bounce around like this, depending on whether it wants to hit that side or that side. Yes. Okay. 0 is L, 1 is I, 2 is T. I should continue to repeat to myself while I think about what is happening with the Ubon network. Okay, so this cell is a 0. I know this cell's a 0. I can write that in. This can't be part of the loop network, because if this is part of the loop network, it would be a 0, this would be a 0, and my loop network would close. So in fact, this is just basically gone from the entire puzzle, and my loop network goes this way. And this is actually done now in my usual way of marking these things. I know this doesn't connect this way, although I don't have any fantastic way. I could make this a green X just for funsies, I suppose. But I'm not sure that's what I want to do with my life. Let's see. If this is in the loop network, it's an I. Oh, right. This definitely connects down, right? Because it's an L, and so if it doesn't connect up, it has to connect down. So this is in the loop network as well, and it's also a 0, actually. So this is also an L, so it also doesn't connect down, which means that this 0 also connects down. And so that happens there. This I don't know if it is a 0 or a 1, so I can't say yet. It depends on that's what's going to resolve all of this nonsense. Okay. Oh, maybe not quite. Yeah, there's a weird sort of 0, 0, 0 sort of wrapping pattern that doesn't create circle or doesn't create little mini loops, I think. Over there. Right. This can't be a 1. But it could be part of the loop from the slitherlink and not part of the loop network. So that doesn't quite tell me what happens to the slitherlink network over here, I don't think. Let's see. Okay, if this can't connect up and left, right? In particular, this loop only has one exit. Yes. That is unvisitable by the slitherlink. Yes. Thank you. Row 5, column 5 is a 1. Yes, that's very handy, actually. This number is a 1, and so we can drive through it because it's an I. And this is also a 1, so we can drive through it, and it's an I. This is a 1 or a 2, for what it's worth. Okay, this is also an I, which now can't go vertically. I guess so it's going to go horizontally, including that one. which is going to force this into the loop network, mean these are done. That one's done. Okay, so... Oh, yeah, I can't quite do that one yet. Oh, this one's done. This I as well. Okay, this 0 actually is forced, because this 0, remember, is an L, so it has to turn, and there's only one way it can plausibly turn, which is that way. So this is done. So 1 or a 2. Oh, so this goes down either way, because this is either this T or this I, so this always goes down. I just don't know what it does after that. This is the same T or I thing, where this is either 1 or 2, and so it's either an I or a T, and the T would go all of those ways. So this always goes over here, which does indeed finish that one. Regardless. Let's see. 0 is L, 1 is I. Okay. Yes. Now these are not part of the loop network, because if they were, they would be I's, and an I would require a 1. Thank you for catching that. It took me a long time to figure that out. So yeah, these are either going to be visited or not. How on earth are we ever going to resolve that? Oh, it's going to depend on what happens there. Okay, got it. If this is in the loop network, it's a 1, and the loop network goes that way. If this is not in the loop network, then it goes over there. This is not a Sudoku puzzle, I do not believe, by most people's definition of Sudoku puzzles. There are more zeros in column 2 than would go in a typical Sudoku puzzle. Let's see. Told this can't go down. If this goes down, then we've made this a 1, and so it goes straight down and crashes into that. So it can't go down, so it always goes up. And now this can't be a 2 in my slitherlink. Which would be required to be a T. So it has to be a 0, which means it's done. And now if these two connect, the loop network is just a single mini loop, so they don't connect. So my turn is actually like that. I can go ahead and blue those, and in fact, these 3 are done. Oops. These 2 are done. They are 0s as well from the slitherlink. Okay, this is now unvisitable by the loop network, so this can be blackened. Okay, so this is a 1, a 2, or a 3. Would we rather gray in it than black in it? How about that? That's more clear, I think. Uh, uh, okay, so this just did better. Oh no, sorry, this is a 1 or a 2. It depends on whether it goes down. Okay, yeah, that's still true. It says something either about me or about this pack that I've found this to be the most approachable puzzle in the pack so far. This can't be 3. Oh, right. This is in the network, so it is something. I had not marked that it was in the network. Ubon narrowly. This is either a 0. Right. Okay, yeah. So if this is a Ubon thing, the only thing it can be is a 0, but it's definitely not a 0 as far as slitherlink. So the network just doesn't visit this cell, is Selena's point. Okay, so now this is at least a 1, so it's a 1 or a 2, which means it always goes right. Unconditionally, because of the whole, like, it's that or a T thing, and then this is a 1, so we can just fill it in. And we can fill in some Xing from the slitherlink because of that. Which also lets us X that on the slitherlink, which also lets us X that on the slitherlink for what it is worth. So if this were in the loop network, it would be oh, never mind. I think what I was going to say was nonsense. Okay, this is going to make a turn in some direction or another for what it's worth. And I know this doesn't continue that way, but it could continue a variety of ways. Oh, this could go down, and then that could be my one side. Probably be okay. Well, this side definitely isn't 0, right? This is going to hit it. So this is not 0. Oh, but it could be a T going sort of not that way, is the point. Got it. Yeah, there is a T configuration that doesn't do the thing. Right. Okay. So yeah, this is a 1 or a 3, right? Okay. So this is either So yeah, so this is only a 1 or a 3. So it's either a 4-way or that, because yeah, these 3 edges are stuck together. So therefore, that means this always goes this way, and it's just a question of, is it actually bigger than that? Okay, so this now can't... Oh, sorry, it could be a 0. Oh, but it can't be a 1, right? This is never a 1. So now this is a 0. Because if it were a 1, it would not have that shape, which now means that is locked out of the slitherlink network, and that is done. And now that that's locked out, we can sort of percolate that. That's locked out of the loop network. That's locked out of the loop network. So this is, in fact, our 1, and it's done. Wait, was there something that could have been a 2 that I missed? Oh, no, sorry. Ron's talking about there. Okay, good. Okay, and then that finished this one, actually, so we know this actually continues downward. This is a 0, so we know it goes down. Because it can't go up because that's done. This is a 1 because it's done. It has nowhere else it could connect. This just can't be part of the loop network because of the fact that this is done, so there aren't 2 places it can connect. Row 7, column 5 is now 0. Yes. Good. Right. That now is a dead end, which means this is now known to be a 0, which means it now turns one of these directions. This, it should be stated, is definitely a 1 or a 2. I guess I know it's a 1 or a 2 both ways, so maybe it's not super exciting. If this is in the loop network, it's a straight line. Yes. Okay, yes. This one now can't connect up because it would make this not a line, right? So this has to go down, which indeed gets us a bonus tile. Good. Yep. Okay. So what was the conclusion between Ron and AAA Battery? I know they were talking about whether this could really be a T, and I think there was some debate. Was it concluded that this can't actually be a T? Yeah, I think if this is a T, I think it breaks this 1. Because if this is a T, then my loop network comes down here, and this becomes a 0, which walls off this side, except this is supposed to be a 2, so we have this coming into this and crashing around the 1. So yeah, so AAA Battery is right. This definitely can't be a 2. It is a 1, which means that it's done. Which means not that side, over here. And so we're visiting one side of this, so it's either that side or that side. Oh, but the loop can't get out over here. We had the same sort of trick above, where if the loop tries to be up here, it's going to immediately end. So we get all of that, which now means this is the side that's actually visited, which forces the loop to turn that way, owing to that. Okay. Okay, so this is only a 0 or a 1, which is, I guess, kind of useless in some fashions. This is a 2 or a... Oh, no, sorry. This can't be... right. Okay, yeah. This is unvisitable. Right. I was getting to the same place. If this is visited by the loop network, it's at least a 2, but there are 2 different directions it can't go, which doesn't work. So that is not part of the Ubon network, which means that this can't be a 0. If you look at it, because if it were a 0, it has no way to turn. In fact, actually, just Ubonologically, it just has to do that, which means this is, in fact, a 1. And it's only got one side that can realistically be visited, because if you look at it, those sides can't. So that is the side that gets visited. So now this is not a 0. And it can't be a 1 either, because it's not a straight line. And the most it can be is a 2. So this actually has to be a 2. And we know what that looks like slitherlink-wise, even if we don't know what it looks like Renbonologically. This 3 now is done because of that. In fact, that was done before then, if you want. That does tell me these aren't used because you can't crash into things. So this just is a 1, and it's done. Okay. You're back to some craziness of 2 kinds of lines. Yeah. Haven't you always wanted to solve a Ubon and a slitherlink puzzle on top of each other? I admit I saw the Ubon slitherlink name, and I thought, oh, they're going to have the slitherlink clues be like offset. So it's like for Ubon, because I just did a KNT puzzle that was like a Ubon slitherlink hybrid the other day. However, no, it was not that sane thing. It was instead this this madness. This loop end is going to visit one of these 2 sides of the 1, so it can't visit either of those 2 sides of the 1. And now that we've noted that, now it can't visit that side of the 1 either. So that's in fact the side of the 1 that we actually visit. So we've got that. Okay. This 2, if you look at it, it can't be... It's a 2 out of 3 argument. It can't be that 2 out of 3, because that 2 out of 3 breaks the 1. And so if it's not that 2 out of 3, it always includes that one. No matter what. In fact, actually, I think up here is just dead, because if I look at sort of where up here can my loop go, I don't think my loop can get out of up here anymore, because... Oh, no, maybe it could do... No. I'd need 2. If there's loop up here, I need 2 ways out. And if I look at the ways out from up here, the only way out is through this corner. Yeah, so I think that means that I can't visit there or there at all. And so indeed I can't visit any of this nonsense, I believe. And so that forces that indeed my second 2 is that one, my 1 is that one. So we've got all of that. That is unvisitable. I'm going to mark just for purposes of noting that this is either a 1. Okay, so this is a 1 or a 2. Oh, but it could go up and down. It might be worth looking ahead in a moment to see if that actually breaks or not, but it is at the moment plausiblish. Let's see. If this is in the loop network, it is a 1, which is totally plausible. Oh, this just isn't in the loop network anymore. And this just isn't in the loop network anymore because they don't have two cells that they can connect to. The green, by the way, if you've sort of been following along or if you just came in, the green means I know all the connections in this cell, whereas the like grayish blue means I know the loop network visits this cell, but I don't necessarily know how. If this is in the loop network, it's a 0, which it is. So that doesn't quite tell me anything as of yet. If this is in the loop network, then it is a 1. Okay. If this is in the loop network, it's a 1, but the 1 can only go vertical, not horizontal. So this 1 can't go this way is the point, right? This 1 going horizontally breaks immediately because of what this cell would then be. So this 1 actually goes vertically. So can do those, which means that's done. Yeah, we can do more X adjacent to black lines. That's certainly true. Okay, and so now this 2 is forced. That's true. So this 2 now looks like that. And is forced. This is a 2 as well, actually. If I count it. And so if that's a 2, we know what it... Oh, we don't necessarily know what it looks like, I don't think. Sorry. But we do know it's a 2. So we know this is a T. Right. Right. I have some X's that I have not filled in, right? I did not fill in those X's. But right. So therefore, these are both zeros, is what Selena is reminding me. So therefore, this is unvisitable by the loop network, because if it was in the loop network, it would be a 1, and the same is true up here. So those are both unvisitable because these zeros need to either join left or right, but not up. Okay, which means this is not in the loop network either, which means this 0 now turns down like that, and it finishes, which now means this one turns this way, and these both finish, which means this 1 is now vertical, and it's done. This is turned over here, and these two are done. And that's a 0. And this is unvisitable, because it would be a dead end. Okay. So this only has one way it can go. So this goes this way. And it is in the loop network, but it's done. And this is now done. And that's a 1, just for the record. Do I know this isn't a 2? I know this is 1 or 2. Oh, row 4, column 7. Yes, row 4, column 7. There we go. Yep, perfect. It has to go that way. Agree. Heaven forbid I have to notice something about connectivity of the loop network, because my ability to globally view the loop network is nearing 0. This is a 1 or a 2, but it's not a 1. So this has to be a 2, Ilm points out. And if this is a 2, then I certainly know what that does. And that has to do that as well. Which means I now know this is a 2 as well. I can't take this edge for a somewhat funny reason I'm not sure I've seen before, which is that if I take this edge, I immediately finish the loop. I guess that's sort of a version of what we were doing earlier, isn't it? So the loop has to sort of continue like that. This can only be a 2 or a 3. Right. Okay, so yeah. So this 2, I noted this way long ago, because these two sides are batched. We either take both of them or neither of them. We can't have this loop here go up. This loop here is stuck exiting this 2. So this is going to cling to the 2 on this side or on this side. Neither of those things allows me to go up like that. And so now we have a similar deal with this 2 over here, where this 2, we're either going to grab those sides or grab those sides. I don't know which yet. Faluda posted a puzzle pack, and we're just doing the puzzle pack, Naverio. We started last time. We've averaged about an hour a puzzle in the Easy Faluda pack, but the Easy Faluda pack has about 400 puzzles in it, I think. Yes, Naverio, that's the one. Row 2, column 11 is now a dead end. Dead end for what? For the loop network. So if this was in the loop network, for slitherlink, because the bottom left edge is now batched. Right. Okay, yes, I see it. So yeah, so this 2 has the effect, this is what Selena is saying, that I can't take either of these without taking both of them. So these 2 being together means that if I did come up here, I would end up creating a little mini loop. So I can't come up here is the short version of that. That's Trixie. So got all of that. So this is a 0 or a 1. If this is in the loop network, it's definitely a 0. Yes. Okay, yeah. So the if we look at where the loop ends, so we've done so much Xing over here. that now if this loop comes up, I've now definitely got 3 ends all trapped together, which I cannot do. So this must go down and not up. So if this is in the loop network, it's a 2. Seems fine to me. As far as I can tell. It's the bottom of column 10. Right. There's an X here. Right, so that definitely happens. I agree. Slitherlink at the top exits at the very end of row 5. Right. These two both... Wait, do these have to get... Yeah, they have to get down somehow. Because this one we know is connecting to this point. And so Selena's point is, if I know that this one is coming here... regardless, I know this one has to go meet the other end of it, which means it has to, at the very least, take that pair of points. And we know it doesn't take these, so it doesn't take that. So it's going to be over here. Right, I know that I'm going to be here. And so I could either come down this way or I could go over this way after that. I think I'm going to need the loop network to know which one. So it's 2 or 3. This just is 2. This is 0 or 1. Yes. Okay, yeah. The Ubon definitely doesn't visit this cell because it would be a 2. In fact, actually, the Ubon just can't visit the corners at all. Because any Ubon visiting a corner... Oh, that's not true, but it is true of this corner. Sorry, it's not true in general, but it is true of this corner. This is definitely going to be a 2, which is definitely too many exits. Sorry. It's once the corner is visited by the slitherlink, then it can't be visited by the Ubon as well. Okay, and likewise, this now can't be visited by the Ubon network, because now it only has 2 things it can connect to, but it would be a slitherlink 2 or a slitherlink 3, both of which are bad. So this 0 now definitely connects this way, which means that this is in my network. This can get away with being a 1, but not being a 0, so this isn't in the loop network either. So this is now done. Having done that, how could we possibly decide whether the slitherlink goes this way or this way? Haven't I screwed this up somehow? Like, it feels like there's a uniqueness problem with what I currently have. Row 8, column 11 is also a 2. Yes, it is also a 2 1/4, so it can't be visited. Yeah, I think somehow we must have screwed this up because I think there's a uniqueness issue. Unless I am missing something easy. Do people agree that that seems to be a uniqueness issue? Like, what could possibly disambiguate it? Let's see. Yeah, Matt Laffey agrees. Oh, this is a 2 at least, so you know the and this is a 1. Yeah, I suspect that we probably made a boo-boo at some point. But we shall see. That can't be in the loop network anymore. Yeah, we probably broke the puzzle somehow, but we'll see. And then we're close enough to the end of stream that I'm going to just continue, and then we'll see either that it's broke or that there was a uniqueness issue that was somehow inexplicably unnoticed. Oh, this is a 1 as well. So it is done. And this is done. Wait, column 9 is done. Yes, this is in the loop network now. This is a non-zero Ubon corner. Yeah, if this were in the Ubon network, it would be a corner, but it can't be a corner because it would need to be a 0, right? So that means this goes up, which means that's in the network. Yes. This is not 0. But if it were in the Ubon, it would definitely be a 0. So this is not in the Ubon. Agree. Same with this cell. Actually, Ilm has a very similar point. If this were in the Ubon, it would definitely be a 0, but it's definitely not a 0 because of this edge. I think if I'm willing to be more sophisticated about it, I think the same is true of this cell. Yes, this is forced, so it's a 1. Okay, so I don't have to be sophisticated about it, because this is a 1, which means it does that, which means it also does that. Oh, and this is a 1 that it connects to, so that's also a 1. Like that. That's in the loop network. Okay, and so now this would be a nothing if it was in there. It couldn't even be a corner. Okay. couldn't this one be 0 if the thing sort of skated out through this? Oh, sorry, it can't skate out through that corner because that corner is a 1. Right. Sorry, that's a 1. So yeah, so this can't be unvisited by the loop network. If this is unvisited by the loop network, then both sides of this 1 are taken, and that doesn't work. So this is visited by the loop network, but it's not visited by the Ubon. Yes, this is certainly a non-zero Ubon corner, as Selena calls them, because it's got an edge already on it. This is certainly, therefore, a non-zero Ubon corner. This could maybe be 0. That does fix this 2, though, so that's big. So we've got this 2. Okay, which means this has to be a 2 as well, actually. Yeah, this has to be a 2 as well, because the shape it has is already not able to be anything but a 2. Oh, it could be a 3, actually. Sorry, this is a 2 or a 3. But in any case... oh, it's not a 3. Sorry, it's not a 3. It's only able to be a 2. It can't be a 3 by slitherlink. So it is a 2. Slitherlinkily, yes. So this is a 2. Which means the slitherlink does do that. Oh, it's 2 but not green. Right, thank you. Sorry, you're completely right. It's 2 but definitely not green. This is blue, though. So this is out. So it's a question of what is this? Is this a 1 or a 2? But that also seems like a uniqueness problem, as far as I can see it. So maybe our 2 uniqueness problems will cancel out. One can only hope. Oh yeah, maybe the 0 can't go left or can't go right, and that would that would actually sort out this, which would make sense. This is the TI thing, so the claim that this can't be unvisited. I'm not sure I see that this can't be unvisited. Yeah, if it's visited, then yeah, then it is, but I don't know that it's visited. Trying to decide if I can decide anything about like these cells, because these are either both green or they're both gray. If they're both green, they're certainly both 0s, and the loop doesn't visit any of those cells. Is that possible? Yes. the loop could just sort of scoot around this way, and that would be okay. Uh, uh, okay. So let's look at this one here on the slitherlink. Because of where this loop is, I can't take either of those edges, because if I take either of those edges, then I'm immediately going to end up with both of them because of this sort of shape over here. So I definitely take that edge. Uh, uh, oh, was I wrong? Maybe I am wrong. Oh, no, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I'm conflating the two loop networks. By the way, thank you for subscribing, Chesterfield. Welcome. I hope you're enjoying this. Sorry, I mentally was conflating the two loops. How I could do that, I have no idea. The bottom X is true. Because it makes row 9 column 7 a 3. Ah, right. Okay, yeah. So yeah, if wait, does it? Yes, it does. Okay, yes. If this edge is in, then by the power of this 1, I end up making this a 3, which would make it a plus, which doesn't work. So yeah, so that's not part of the loop. So that means this is out, which means this is in, for what it's worth. You could X between row 8, column 7 and row 8, column 8. So set up with the wrong amount of slitherlink loop ends. I wonder if that's how we somehow ended up off a little bit over here at some point. Because we missed that we could sort of sneak in an extra loop end through over here. So yeah, there's sort of pairs of loop ends over here. Oh, how about this? This is... Oh, no, never mind. Sorry. This can only be 0 or 2. 8, 7, 8. I don't quite see it because oh, this can't go down. There we go. This can't go down. Uh, 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 there we go. Okay, this I agree. This is definitely out of the Ubon network, because if it was in the Ubon network, it would be a 0. Agree. Okay. Row 6, column 6 to row 8, column 9. Sorry, row 8, column 9. Okay, so I have to make sure that we keep an even number of loop ends in here, and the only ambiguous one is whether we get an extra one through here or not. All the others we can already see we've X'd off. Okay, I agree with that. So now we get that, which also forces that, which also forces that, actually, which then forces that. If I did all of that right. Right edge of row 9, column 7. Right. Yep. Now that's unvisitable. And so now that forces that. This is a 1 just by counting. So we can do that. So this comes over here, which comes over there. Finishing up this one. Okay, and now that forces this to be a 1 if you look at it, because it can't connect up, so it has to connect left, making this a 1 and green. And so we can fill in the 1 there. This 1 is also finished. This 0, we now know which way it bends. Has to bend up like that. And this has to bend this way like that. So we end up with all of that. Okay, this is a 1 I can fill in, right? Just by having the little thing. So this 0 we can fill in, needs to go that way. So that's in the loop network. And it's a 1 because this side, although I don't have it marked, this side's definitely unvisitable. So this is a 1. So it goes that way through there, which makes this part of the loop network, and it's a 1, which finishes this 0, which now makes this unvisitable because it would be, well, now it's literally it's a dead end for the Ubon network. Doesn't even have to do with the intersection of the two. This 1 is now finished. It needs to go straight across like that. Okay, so this is a 1 or a 2, which funnily enough, it is definitely a 1 or a 2. Uh, let's see. Yeah, the uniqueness problem definitely suggests something went a little bit off. Yes, this would definitely be bad if this were in the loop network. So now this just can't be in the loop network. This can't be in the loop network. This can't be in the loop network. So that forces this 0. Which has made this, in fact, be a 2. Which means that we need to go down there and come around here and come back up there. So this 2 is forced. Needs to do that. And so this is a 2 as well, and we know which 2. Which has finished both of these 2s. So this is funny. I don't think we've seen this in this puzzle. If this were in the loop network, it would be a 1, but it can't be a 1. So it's not in the loop network. This can only be a 1 if you look at it, just in terms of that. And so I was going to say we know which one it is, but I don't know that we do know which one it is. Just know that it is a 1. Oh, right. This can't be a 3. So this has to be a 2. Which means that it is green. And given that it is a... Oh, we already knew it didn't. We already knew it wasn't a 3 for lots of reasons. Yes, we can say this definitely is not in. So you know which way the slitherlink goes. Right. So we can't go this way around this 2 clue, and remember we had to go one way or the other, so we have to go that way around the 2 clue. So this, no, sorry. I was going to say, so now that's done, but that's not how that works. That's not how any of this works. So I can't take that side anymore. So now I have to take this side of the 1, which bounces off and fills in that loop like that. Yeah, we can't draw a thing there anymore. Oh, so we can just count this now. So now, now we know that this is a 1, right? Just by counting. And so if it's a 1, that means the Ubon comes down here, and this is done, and this is done. And so both of these are out of the Ubon network because they can't connect to the Ubon network in any way. Okay, so aside from this uniqueness issue, everything seems to be fine. Right, okay, this end is definitely going to touch this side, Ilm points out, because of that X over there. So this would be a non-0, 0, if we did that. Let's see. Uh, uh, or 2. This is 0 or 2. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, Jim is retracted. I don't think this can be in the loop network. If this is in the loop network, I make this a 2. And this certainly can't be a 2 without making this a 3, which it definitely can't be. So I think this is out of the loop network, right? I think I believe that. Let's see. These are in the loop network. They're both 0s. Yeah, it's possible that Faluda made a slight error or that we made a slight error. But yeah, I agree that sort of like this being 0, 1, 0 would work, I think. There's like the so just to sort of fill in, I think that together with that, and then a variety of options for ways to join these while not including anything in the Ubon network, I think works. Well, that was the point, Josh, was I was saying I think there's a solution, but I think there's actually a whole bunch of solutions to this, because I think this works unless someone now goes and finds where I filled a 1 on a T or something early on. But yeah, I think that I'm curious, are there any comments about the specific one? Uh 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 yeah, the let's see, there aren't any like weird sentences in here, right? Uh but I mean the point is yeah, the that is eminently possible. I was just curious if the solution code didn't involve the loop at all or something like that. Like maybe it said something like, oh, the Ubon part is unique or whatever. But yeah, I really liked this one, except for the fact that I think we showed that it is like in multiple ways not unique unless we made an error, which is eminently possible. I'm like scanning all my 1s real quick to make sure all my 1s are really 1s. Like I feel like it is fairly likely that if I scan this for all the different kinds of clues, that it's going to turn out that one of the clues we cheated on. Oh, we certainly didn't prove that the Ubon was unique, but it's conceivable to me that the Ubon is unique. It is essentially inconceivable to me that the slitherlink is unique unless we have a really egregious mistake, which is eminently possible, although there are a lot of eyes in chat looking at it, so we shall see exactly what happened. But anyway, this is a very cool puzzle that I think maybe has a... I mean, I feel like it's maybe 50-50 between that there was an error in the puzzle and that that we have an error in what is on board at the moment. Alrighty, well, that's going to wrap us up for stream today, but thank you for hanging out for more Faluda puzzles. Believe it or not, this pack actually still has a whole bunch more puzzles in it, so we may do more, although I will probably do another puzzle before I do more of the puzzles from this set. So yeah, I don't know exactly what happened. But anyway, thank you to everyone for hanging out. Do please give the stream a thumbs up if you have not yet done so. And huge thank you to all of you who support the stream financially. We show your names over the Celeste music every time, so huge thank you for that. If you want to support the stream financially, as always, we greatly appreciate it, and you can do so by clicking the little $ icon down there. And we are always happy to see that, so thank you all for that. You can subscribe and get your little windmills like Josh and Jim are showing off there. So we appreciate that. At high enough levels, you get to vote for which Faluda puzzle I start with next time. There's AAA Battery showing off the fresh new windmill. The windmill actually evolves as you subscribe for multiple months, so that is a cool little feature that you can enjoy. And of course, as soon as you have the green name, you also get all the Zach emotes, which are greatly appreciated. We've been contemplating assorted new emotes, so if you have any new emotes that you think would be appropriate, let me know and we can contemplate. There's one I was saying the other day that I was like, oh, I really want an emote for this, but I don't remember what it was. But anyway, that's all for now. I'll be back on Friday, which I think is going to be a setting stream. I have a crazy idea for a Philomeno based on something Mathpesto sent me, so we'll see how it goes. But that's all for this time. Thanks for watching, and bye for now. Oops, I didn't successfully hit ending. Let's try again. Uh-oh. It seems that my thing no longer works. Let's see. I can switch to the ending screen, maybe. Longer than anticipated screen because I don't have... I see. I think the ending stream got deleted by Tristan is I think what happened. So I don't think I have an ending screen. So I think I'm just going to go to a be right back screen and eventually turn it off. Sorry about that. But see you all next time. Bye for now.